Hey guys, it's Kim here, and say hello to Becky. Hello, Becky. Okay, I didn't pick up, but fine. We've got another craft stream. There's mild tech issues, but it's fine. We got a good look. We got a good camera that doesn't flicker. Holy crap, we've achieved that. Becky's mic is a little bit in and out. It should be fine. But today we are going to be making a foam TARDIS. So this is going to be a 2-part tutorial. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to build the outer shell today, and then next week, or in the next video, Becky's going to do some crazy things with decoration and, dare I say, electronics. So yeah, as ever, there is a materials list on the screen below me. Look there. These are the things that you're going to need right there. And if you're watching this on YouTube, there's a link in the description to Becky's Ko-fi page that has 1, a materials list, and 2, a template that Becky has very kindly created that you can print out and cut out all your bits to, so it's all correct and stuff like that. In Twitch chat, the link to that is on the screen right now. Thank you very much, Nightjar. So yeah, Becky, why don't you take it away?
Because I know a couple of people have been saying they don't have foam. You could do this out of card, it's just you'll have to do a few alterations as you go along, just because the template's been designed for certain sizes of foam. So there will be a few variations, but you could make this out of card. Don't feel like you need to run out and buy foam. Kim's rocking out to the smooth jazz over there.
Smooth jazz.
There are some things you need to do to the template once you've cut it. All of these long pieces need to have I don't know if you can see that, I'll hold that up. They need to have an angled beveled edge on the inside.
Yeah, actually it's fine. You're fine. Carry on. Keep going. Ignore me.
So I'm good at this upper cam.
Yeah.
Giving some credit.
I'm forgetting that the lower cam is now actually like a really good quality and like it's really sharp, Becky. Like holy crap, that is a top camera angle.
It's working. Some stuff is working.
We got a quick question. Do you cut the foam towards trot?
Okay, so let's talk about some injuries I sustained this morning.
No! Oh my god! That's because you didn't cut towards trot, isn't it?
Okay, I'd like to add a new one to cut towards trot. Sand towards trot.
Sand towards trot. Okay.
So I'm really bad at cutting things. This is a thing. I know, if I had access to the laser cutter right now, I'd have done this all on the laser cutter. It would have taken 2 minutes and I'd be so happy. But I'm really bad at cutting, especially straight lines. And there's a lot of straight lines in the TARDIS. And so I thought to create this kind of beveled edge, or angled edge, instead of cutting, I would use my Dremel, which if you've never seen a Dremel or rotary tool, this is the thing, and it is the most wonderful tool I own. I love it. So I used this little sanding drum to create that edge, which is really easy because you just kind of run it along there when it's going. Except because it's running very fast, if it's going, it just kind of flips off the edge. And if you're trying to hold the foam steady and it flips off the edge and your finger is underneath.
Exactly where that plaster is.
Exactly where that plaster is. You can take quite a lot of skin off your finger because it's going very fast.
Oh my god.
So I did sustain some injuries this morning, and always sand towards trot from now on.
Away from yourself towards trot.
Basically that you can then slot these together to create nice corners. So those are going to go into nice corners. So that's the kind of angle you want to create on those. Those to one side for a minute. The other thing that you might want to do is these front pieces. You may want a door in your TARDIS that can be opened.
Open?
I want
what? Interactive TARDIS?
Well, I want a door in my TARDIS that can be opened because I'm putting a light inside.
Okay.
And you need to be able to access the battery pack to turn the light on and off.
Fair.
And replace the batteries. So I'm going to put that inside the TARDIS and then be able to open the door so that you can turn the light on.
Okay.
So yeah, in order to do that, you will need to cut some pieces in half. So you'll need to have one of these pieces cut in half, and one of these pieces cut in half, which I haven't done yet, so I'm going to do that now.
Okay, so before this, I guess it's like download the template, mark everything out, cut everything out, and assemble it as you've assembled it here.
Yeah. Yeah, so you can follow this video to assemble and
missed the last bit of what you just said there.
Just looking for my biro.
Okay, it's not important. It's non-essential. See, Twitch is already cutting out like the bits that are just non-essential. Like, I'm just looking for my biro. Don't need it. Don't need it.
Don't need it. Not important. Twitch is on it. Twitch is cutting out the bits that we don't need.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're just going to cut this in half, which it's 11.5 wide. So that's like.
Math.
5.
You didn't tell me I'd have to do math.
11.5
divided by 2. 5.75.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got there. 5.75.
Well
Becky, it's 5.75.
It is 5.75. Well done, everyone. 525. No, it's not 525. I almost did that mistake as well.
Oh,
I almost went that way.
Macadamia.
But yeah, you could also just eyeball it because it's kind of halfway down. But yes, as I've said, I'm terrible at cutting straight lines. So sort of eyeballing the straight lines is not my friend.
Do you know one thing that really does my nut in when I do wood crafting is you do have to be super precise with your math and your measurements, because otherwise, like, you get a millimeter wrong and everything's wonky, and I hate it. I hate it so much.
This is one of the things I hated about wood carving and why I like using, clay and things more, is that, see, look, I've already wobbled off the end there and I was following a ruler.
Oh my god.
I am like that. I'm a bit backhanded. We're going to be using 2 types of glue today. So we're going to be using hot glue and contact adhesive, which contact adhesive is what most cosplayers and things use for foam craft. I hate this stuff. Okay. I really don't get on with it, but it is good for certain things that the glue gun's not really delicate enough to do. If you had a small point on your glue gun, which I will buy for myself at some point, then you could do it all with glue gun.
Okay, can you hold the label up to the top camera? There we go.
Yeah, this is just Evo stick. I know, like, other people in America, they have barge, which I'd really love to get some. I think we just have really bad contact adhesive in this country. I think America might have better contact adhesive. But it's just practice. I haven't, barge is bad apparently. Okay. Dishy. Okay, got that. But I haven't used it enough. I still find it difficult to work with. So, but for some of this, we're going to be gluing kind of unconnected parts, which means the glue gun is sort of the best.
Okay. Before we get started on this next bit, Future Becky has some advice for past Becky, and through the wonders of editing, she's going to share this with you now. Go ahead, Becky.
Okay, so I've actually glued the sides of my TARDIS together, but the better way to do it would be to glue your details onto the sides first and then glue it together. So we're going to glue the details on now.
Yeah, but at this point in the video, if you've got your bits together, glue the details to the sides first and then glue the sides together. Okay, and now ignore the next 20 minutes of this video. Carry on. Carry on, Future Becky. Back to the future. Whoa.
We're gonna glue these on next. And the trick with these is that, this is my first time making a pattern. I've never made a pattern before, and I built this as a 3-dimensional model in Tinkercad, and then I exploded it and printed it as an SVG, and then turned it into a template for you guys. But these bits do have a right way up.
Okay. So
they should be, the same all round, but they're not. Okay, first pattern. Still attempting it. So if you put them the wrong way round, then the windows won't be central.
Okay, I see, yeah.
So you can see that way up, then the windows are nice and central at the top, and that way up they're not. So you'll just need to work out or mark things, maybe mark things before gluing them, kind of which way up they need to go. They are the same, I believe, both way around. Yeah. Oh, no, they're not. Of course they're not. That would be too easy. Yeah, just... It was my first ever pattern, okay, guys, and I haven't used Tinkercad for a while, so I was still,
It was a good looking pattern.
What we're doing is we're taking all our kind of bulky main pieces.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to glue those together, but we're going to glue those together down the seam so that there's still like a gap.
Oh, that seems really tricky.
With a glue gun, actually pretty easy.
Yeah? Okay.
Because we can just kind of throw those together. Or actually, the way to do this, I think I told everyone to save offcuts. Save offcuts. I have a big stash underneath my table.
Okay. Does it matter if you make a bit of a mess on the inside? I guess not.
Not on the inside is irrelevant. Make loads of mess on the inside. This is sort of why I use why I like using glue gun, because the inside is irrelevant. And also on this, even if you make a mess on that outside seam, we are going to cover that up at a later date.
Okay. Apparently, so we got a couple of questions. So Benjism says, where did you get the foam from?
My foam is floor mats. I bought it from B&Q.
Floor mats?
Okay. Yeah, these are floor mats designed for like insulating or softening floors, so like for home gyms and things.
Okay.
Which is why they have this weird thing on the back. But you can get, so I got like 10 of them for £10. So it's kind of the cheapest way to buy foam.
Okay.
You can buy proper cosplay EVA foam, and then you don't have this surface, which is good if you need both sides to look flat.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, you can actually sand this off as well if you're really being ambitious.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like this stuff is just so cheap, and I only started using foam recently, so I was just like, I just want to try it out.
Yeah, and get some cheap stuff. Yeah.
And this stuff's great, and
Yeah.
I've built, you know, a TARDIS, a dagger, a diver's helmet, and I think I'm probably going to get a Viking shield and axe out of it as well.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Yeah. So you can do a lot with it. But yeah, using your off-cut piece of foam, you can just create this kind of wedge that is the same height as your foam. Which means that you can line that up on top and then put glue down the seam, and it will be perfect.
Okay. Okay, so that's
That
just
makes
an
sense,
offcut
Russell?
you're using as like just a prop, essentially, like a...
Yeah, because the off-cut is the same height as the foam, which means if I stick this on top of it, it's going to be at perfectly the right height.
Okay.
How's glue gun doing? A little bit more. Any questions while we wait for the glue gun to warm up? And yeah, glue towards Trot as well.
I'm just gonna invade your train
He
of
did
thought.
right blink, didn't he? I'm not making that up.
I don't know. I'm gonna invade your train of thought here. So this
Oh wow!
is the finished rifle by Dishy.
That's amazing.
So this is the Ana rifle. It looks fucking brilliant, to be honest. Look at that.
Link with Stephen Moffat. I'm so sorry, Benedict. Yeah. Yeah. But Paul Cornell is a lovely man. I've met him a couple of times. We're friends. So.
So this is. I'm guessing this is made out of foam.
Great rifle.
What the heck is that made out of? Magic? Stardust? Is that just an
Wonder?
actual? It's foam. It's foam. That is so
See,
cool.
look, foam is magic. You can do so much stuff with it. Okay, so we're going to have a go at gluing this right now.
Hold
so
on
we've
a
got
minute.
our
I'm just making this even bigger so I can just stare at it. Look, I've just blocked the whole stream. I'm taking over the whole stream to look at this thing.
Kim's making a stream. I'm just going to glue gun. You know what that is.
That's amazing. Right, okay, I'm okay, get back to it. Okay, right. What are you doing?
Gunning along this seam.
So glue gunning away from yourself and towards Trot.
I am actually glue gunning towards Trot right now from where I live.
Okay.
So that's going very well.
So shall I talk about my favourite Doctor Who episode?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Ah.
I know very little about Doctor Who, which is a travesty because Ted is like a huge.
Ted is a proper Doctor Who.
Yeah,
person.
he's another grown up with it. The thing is, I grew up out of the country. So all the TV that I watched as a kid was all like, well, mostly American television, so Cartoon Network and Nickelodeon, because I lived in South America for kind of like a key principle of my part of my life. So we got like Star Trek dubbed into Spanish and MASH dubbed into Spanish. But yeah, Doctor Who wasn't really a thing I grew up with.
Do you have the kind of Australian, New Zealand TV shows like The Tribe and Xena and all of that?
Oh, we had Xena, yeah, in Spanish, and Hercules in Spanish.
Amazing.
But with the new, what is it? The new BBC thing that's BritBox that's happened. Ted was watching a bit of it, the older episodes on that, and like Ted, when we first started dating, and I was like trying to make an effort, did show me some like episodes of Doctor Who, and he mostly showed me like the horror ones, so like the Blink with the Weeping Angels, one with the scarecrows, but like a lot of the modern day stuff, and I was like, I don't really like the modern Doctors. I find them very annoying and very hyperactive and nonsensical, and like, I'm gonna say something nonsensical and everyone's gonna look at me and go, what's he saying? And then he's going, I'm gonna go over there, look over there, and like, I find that really kind of grating to follow, but there is a point to this. But so when he was watching older episodes recently, he was watching one where the companion was this punky anarchic girl. I think Ash, is she called? What?
It's
Ace.
a long time
Ace?
since I watched Doctor Who. Old Doctor Who.
Ted, I think you need to come down and school me. But and I was like, when I saw that, I was like, I'm sorry, Ted. Why didn't you start me with Ace? Because Ace is amazing, and her answer to everything is to blow it the hell up. And then there was a really cool episode with like vampires, like vampire girls, but also dead Nazis from the sea, and I was like, why didn't you start with this? This is amazing. So my favorite episode is definitely whatever that episode is, where it's Ace and there's vampire girls who are basically teasing a priest and telling him he's a wanker, and he's got no faith. And like there's like sea Nazis, but they're not Nazis, but they're like, you know, they're definitely Nazis. And they're like monsters from the seas. Curse of Fenric, apparently.
I love how on Doctor Who chat is. This is brilliant.
Yeah. They're all nerds, of course they are. Anyway, what are you doing?
We're creating a TARDIS.
Okay, you're just gluing the other side.
I'm just doing the other side, and then the front's going to be a bit different just because we're going to create this door. So, and yes, we are going to do this in 2 streams. I was like, we can definitely do this in 1, and we can't. I'm just like, now I've started it. I'm like, no, that's such a bad idea.
Yeah, I love it. There's a hot chat about Doctor Who now. Apparently, Paul McGann has some cool non-canon audio stories.
Indeed, he's got to do some. Yeah, he's got to kind of come back to the Doctor Who world, which is really nice because I really do think his entry is underrated.
Becky, should I be concerned about the fact that there is smoke coming up from your foam there?
No. Glue is hot, people.
Okay, that's fine. That's like a controlled.
That's a controlled explosion. Yeah, foam does react to heat. Mm-hmm. You will get some slight noxious fumes. Well, not noxious fumes. Do this in a well-ventilated area, okay? And like, yeah, it's some EVA foam does contain some unpleasant chemicals, so do be wary. The first time you use a new foam, just wear PPE. Work out how deadly it is. PPE. PPE. This stuff's been cut in a laser cutter and does not burn with any incredible colors, which means it's actually it doesn't contain loads of horrible chemicals. So it does depend on the type of floor mats you're buying. It's very variable. But yeah, when you're sanding it, wear a mask and what are the things? Goggles. Thank you. Because it will get everywhere, and you don't want to breathe loads of the stuff in. It's just a lot of dust. And a lot of possibly not very good for you dust.
So don't be alarmed if your mat starts smoking.
No, that's perfectly normal. And I've got the windows open here, and I'm not huffing it in. Yeah. I should have completely done this another way around because I've just realised that I've made life particularly hard for myself. This is learning, everyone. This is how craft goes. Like stuff I should have stuck the detail on before I attempted to glue these sides together.
Should we do a quick little clip right now for the YouTubes where I can edit this and put it right at the beginning and be like, consider this other way of doing it? Yeah?
Yes.
Okay. Lots of people are confused about the fact that you're dipping your glue brush into your tea.
This is my glue. This is my tea. I'm keeping them very separate because this glue is not something you want to
consume.
Yeah. Consume. Don't consume. Don't get it on your skin. Don't breathe it in. Don't like. I've got the window open. I've got a big breeze coming across, keeping this area very well ventilated. I'm going to suffer later because I have hay fever. But yeah, you don't want to get this glue anywhere on your person, in your person. Okay,
or in your person. There you go, another PSA for you.
So yeah, if you've got like big masks, like breathing masks are good for this glue as well. If you're not able to be in a properly ventilated space, if it starts stinging your eyes, wear eye protection. Like, it's one of those where it's not great. Yeah, D.I. Dishy, I can believe you that half your wardrobe is contact glue, and different people will tell you to use different amounts of PPE on this. It's the space you're working in and how, comfortable you are with things. Like, don't lean over this and breathe it in.
Yeah. Don't lick your paintbrush.
Don't lick your paintbrush. Yeah, if you if you're very sensitive to things, wear full PPE. If you're like, my skin is sensitive, so I'm wearing gloves while doing this, but I don't really have a problem with fumes. And I'm in well ventilated right now.
Brilliant. Time Explorer says, crucially, this is the glue you're not allowed to have a relationship with. Yeah.
Yeah, do not have a relationship with this glue. You're allowed to like it from a distance. Yeah. But that is all.
Admire it from a distance.
It's like a forbidden romance, okay?
One that will kill you.
Yeah. This stuff is... And it does glue hard. Like, don't make a joke. Like, this glue's solid.
What?
So, also be careful, because... glue gun you can usually pull apart again. This you'll struggle to. You can get glue dissolvers, but they're even more noxious and horrendous, and it's just, yeah.
Brilliant.
Just be careful with this one, everyone. I really wish, actually, so you can get some of this. This is 2mm EVA craft foam. This is just bought from a craft store. This is from Hobbycraft. You can get this, but with a sticky back. And that would actually be the way to do it. Like, get the stuff that's got a peel sticky back, and then you could just cut it out and stick it on.
Okay.
But as we're in lockdown and ordering things is tough, I'm not doing that. Everyone, a bit of gluing advice here. So, contact adhesive, you're meant to leave it for 5 to 10 minutes or till it becomes tacky, and then it's ready to stick. I find with Evo, it goes so quickly. Like, it's almost immediately tacky and dry. So I just have stuck that straight on, and that's glued.
Okay.
So yeah, it's sort of, most contact adhesive, even this says wait 5 to 10 minutes, but the times I've waited 5 to 10 minutes, it's not stuck together. So I just kind of go for it. I think it's probably because I only do one side, and because foam is a bit of a weird material sometimes. But that's starting to get a thing. So starting to look a bit like a TARDIS.
Nice.
So we're going to take these middle bits, so these are the ones you cut 4 off. There were also thinner ones you cut 8 off. And take the thicker ones.
Like
and the thicker ones.
IKEA instructional video. When you have all the different,
you have 8 of the IQ and 24/7 and 4 of the, so keep them separate, because if you get them mixed up, you can't really necessarily tell.
Right. So you're taking the 4 thicker ones.
I'm taking the 4 thicker ones.
Okay.
And that goes down the middle. That's kind of your door divider. So that goes like... Does that look lovely? So it's just, there's going to be a bit of chat now, because it's quite a bit of me just gluing stuff together.
That's fair enough. I mean, I'm the king of Lego talk, so... TARDIS coming together now. It looks it, yeah.
yeah, what we need to do now is just this front bit with the door. We've still got our one door that we haven't attached, which we won't for now. But this little middle bit has to go over, but not join onto that one. So it needs to be half.
Again, hold it a
Yeah,
bit up.
sorry.
You kind of cut off, a little bit cut off there. There you go. Bit more. Scooch that glue out of the way. Get the contact, get the poison glue out of the way. There you go.
Right. So this door is going to glue on later. But we need to put this middle bit on. So that's only going to glue onto this side that's fixed.
Yep.
So it needs to sort of glue on halfway. So half of it needs to be glued on and the other half needs to be free. This is going to get
this is going to be
tricksy.
Precision gluing.
Here. So actually the way
I need to not distract you by talking about Godzilla King.
I've done pretty well so far. So actually the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to glue onto the main TARDIS and I'm just going to put a thin scoop along there so that there's not any glue kind of on the back of that piece that could get stuck to other things. Oh, that was an interesting noise. Where did that come from?
God.
Some piece of tech has just beeped at me, and I don't know which one or what it was about.
Maybe it's
working.
Maybe it's the murder child behind you activating and coming to life.
Murder child.
Murder child. I do like your new setup that you've got all your creations around you. I like it.
Because we've now got the webcam running from my computer, my desktop, which means I've had to re-angle myself in my room.
I don't want to say anything because I don't want to like distract you from this precision.
Talk to me while I was doing eyes on Totoro. We're good at talking through precision things.
Fair enough. Well, I'll see if Twitch is saying anything interesting. Is anyone saying interesting? No, they're not saying anything interesting.
The space looked fine on the digital file, and I'm sort of scared that now it looks huge, but we can always cut it down. I've just gone back to the glue gun for this, just because some of my edges here are a bit rough, and I need to get away from the smell of
contact glue. Yeah.
That's just, I need a bit of glue gun time again, and I might need some more glue sticks, so I might have to go find some glue sticks. But we're gonna glue that down, and then we'll probably go back to contact glue, and we'll take these corners and we'll glue them together and create these really nice solid corners, and they will slot into those corner bits. Can everyone see that?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's basically the corners of the TARDIS are thicker than the rest of the TARDIS, so I had to kind of create a way to structure them in a way that made them properly stick out and bigger. If you had like, I don't know, 20mm foam, you could probably just cut those out of 20mm foam and cut them by 2x2 and make them square. With cardboard, you'll sort of need to create a whole corner. So another fun thing you can do with glue sticks is, I don't know if other people have discovered this, they come in different colours.
Okay, I did not know that. You've piqued my interest.
So I have black glue sticks, which come out shiny black, and there's a tree that I made as part of my installation that there is a wide picture of it, but I'll post a picture on Instagram of like just the tree at some point. And it's got it looks like it's got black oil running down the top.
Oh, that's how you did that.
That's black glue stick. And yeah, you can use it for like creating those wax seal kind of things. You can do fake wax seals, or if you're making molds and filling them with glue, then you can do them colored. There are glitter ones. There are like pearlescent ones. Once you go into the glue stick world, this is a whole new world.
Oh man, I'm really excited now. Oh, right, back to what you're doing. Right, what are you doing?
So we're going to glue this to the base. So I'm going to put some glue gun on the bottom of here, and I'm going to try and keep it sort of on the inside so that it doesn't squirt out and end up round the edge. But if it does end up round the edge, when it starts getting cool, I'll just kind of pick it off. Yeah. Could do this with contact glue. I just need a slight break from the contact adhesive.
Yeah.
Because it's boring and it smells, and gloves.
Oolong Boolong says, that's why I love Kim's streams. They're so chill and flat out relatable, and the messages don't get drowned out instantly by 2K viewers. And I like these streams. They're so chill. I always have an emphasis that it's got to be chill, right? Because I just don't, if I'm not having fun, I don't want to stream. Like, that's pretty much it. And also I want to rant about, if I want to rant about Godzilla King of the Monsters for 20 minutes, I want to rant about Godzilla King of the Monsters for 20 minutes. So that's what we're doing.
One of my friends the other day was like, oh, I haven't watched your streams yet because I'm scared you'll be all professional and I'll get freaked out by it. I was like, they're not that kind of stream.
I don't think people realise that, like, streams aren't a professional thing. They're just normal people doing a normal thing. Like, I don't really like this. I find that's almost like a very old-fashioned point of view that streaming is like broadcast quality.
Yeah.
Because it's not. It's just regular people just talking crap. Like, I mean, it can look professional in terms of like layout and maybe, you know, like our High Rollers stuff with Trot running it, like looks professional, right? But it's still a bunch of us just being us, right? Like, yeah, I don't like this idea that Twitch streams are professional. Yeah, it's just people talking crap. And having fun. And
having fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is starting. Turn into a TARDIS.
Hey.
So I'm gonna show you a trick. I'm gonna try and put this door in now. And because this is foam, it's quite nice and stiff anyway, so it shouldn't need much to kind of hold it, stop it flopping about. But oh dear.
I'm not.
You're not laughing? You're not finding this funny?
I'm not falling out with a joke.
But I have, I bought a load of leather the other year to make some stuff. And I just bought a bag of offcuts, which is a great way of using leather if you want to be kind of, well, it's a great way of using anything if you want to be kind of eco-friendly. But I eat meat, I wear leather, I can't comment on anyone doing anything else. But offcuts is a really nice way of like using up scraps that would otherwise go to landfill or go to recycling and just making sure that they get used. So I bought a big bag of leather offcuts. And this is actually a technique that's used in puppet making and is used in making elbow joints. So you use a piece of leather to basically join the two bits together to create that hinge. So that's what we're going to do with our door. We are going to hinge our door with leather.
Explain like I'm 5. What is an elbow joint?
As in an elbow joint.
Okay, but no.
As in actually like an elbow.
Okay, so it's not like
this piece of... No, you create this piece of wood and you create this piece of wood and then you put like slots in them and you put leather within and that just gives you that floppy elbow joint but with some stiffness to it.
Right, so like a fabric hinge basically.
A fabric hinge. And the nice thing is that leather wants to kind of stay flat. It doesn't want to fold. It will, but it doesn't want to. So if you create your door like that, then it will fold all the way in, but it will want to spring out, which will keep it closed at all times.
Okay. And if you don't want to use leather, like if you're vegan and you want to use something else, what kind of other things could you use?
Vegetable leather will work just as well. Mm-hmm. But yeah, offcuts are great because they've already been used. But anything, just a stiff fabric, or I mean, you could use paper or card, but it'll wear out. Mm-hmm. But you could use hinges. You could buy real hinges.
Yeah, there are quite small ones that you could actually buy.
Yeah, doll's house hinges, stuff like that would work. Craft foam, DI Dishy, yeah, thin craft foam would also work great. I'm just, showing off some leather. So yeah, it's, I'm going to glue that just to the outside there, and then I'm going to glue that into the TARDIS.
That's really cool. That's like that's such a cool idea. I like that. Things I like. This. I remember, do you remember last year when we were putting my LARP costume together, Swamp Witch costume together? And so just thinking of offcuts, you just reminded me that on Etsy, I actually found a person, so I think they work on a farm, but she makes products out of the sheep fleeces, so things like sheep rugs. She like would spin the fleece to make yarn, and she made like, I don't know, like clothes and all this, but she would also sell offcuts. that she couldn't use, and it was perfect for me because like my character was very swamp witch, very raggedy, so like getting all this bag of like just random offcuts of all different colors of fleece, like I thought that was really, really good, like a really good resource. And also, like you say, like, you know, especially if you want to consider like veganism and stuff like that, and not using it's animals that have already been the material's already been used, and like you can still get use out of like every part of the fleece that otherwise would have just gone in the bin. But yeah,
I'd always prefer that. Like, I'm not vegetarian, I'm not vegan, but I would always prefer to ethically source things.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to buy a huge big whole thing of leather, but offcuts that someone else would throw away, absolutely love to.
So yeah, check out Etsy. You might luck out on Etsy because I got a fair few offcut materials from there.
Yeah, this leather did come from, these offcuts were bought to make Kim's LARP gear, first of all. But I've used them for a lot of things since then. They've been very useful. They're good for dragon wings. Leather offcuts are great for dragon wings. Right,
here I am. That's my helmet that I made last year. I'm just going to go to my camera, so it's just me for a second.
I'm just gluing my leather in.
So this is the helmet we made for LARP last year, and this is the sheep fleece that I ordered, the offcuts. There you go. And also I ordered from another farmer these feathers that came with that. So there you go. It's meant to be like a saber-toothed tiger skull. Yeah. And then underneath that, I painted my eyes like a black band, and then kind of dripped water down it, so it looked like I was like crying black underneath that. So
incredible picture of Kim in full gear on my Instagram.
Yeah. So when it sits on my head, it actually like I don't look out through these eyes. It just sits almost like a kind of, I guess like a crown or something like that. But
a headdress.
Yeah, a headdress. I'm not going to put it on now. But yeah, Becky helped me make this. In fact, you taught me how to make it. It's made out of cardboard, if you can see in there. Looks magical on the outside. It's just made of cardboard with some foam so my head doesn't break in there. And then, what was it we used? We used polyfiller, essentially.
Polyfiller, yeah.
Yeah. To do like the bone. So this is all polyfiller and
I will remake this for Kim at some point in foam now that I've started foam smithing, because it's not that durable, but she needed a skull in urgently, so that happened.
So this is going to get remade because it is starting to crack. I don't know if you can see, like that tooth there is cracking off.
Door, look, it does a door. It opens, it closes. It's a bit stuck on the bottom. I might have to trim the bottom down just to kind of make it swing in a bit easier so you can turn the light on. But there's a door. Woo! Right, I'm trying to think what's our next step. Looking at the time today, we're going to manage construction of the TARDIS today, and then painting and electronics next time.
Good.
Pretty good.
Freaking hair everywhere. I'm fine.
So she's fine. She's honestly fine. I'm not going to glue the top on yet, but I'm going to glue the top pieces together because I've got the glue gun out. So there's a couple of pieces that we need to start looking at. So there's these top pieces. If I put that on the side, then you can see it from the top camera as we keep going. Or a bit. I need to prop it up. I need my glue. There we go. Glue's become useful. I'll have to use that in a minute. So the glue has the glue. Start again. So these are your two top pieces. They've got a hole in them because of the light. So I'm just going to briefly talk about the light. I bought a light instead of wiring my own, because it was just so easy. I googled this and then I was like, oh, there's a guy in Yorkshire who sells these on eBay. I'm just going to buy one. So this is a breathing light, which means it kind of slowly fades in and fades out, which is exactly what the TARDIS does.
Yeah.
And this is really nice and bright. It doesn't look bright now, but I've got huge windows in my flat, so it's quite bright in here.
We can see it.
But that's a very bright light, and the idea is that is going to provide both the lantern light and the light inside the TARDIS, which means that you need a nice big space for the light to kind of filter down into the TARDIS. So although the light is tiny, we've got this nice big circle, which I might sand out so it's nice and smooth, to kind of filter the light down. Someone just said about mirrors, and yes, I was going to mention this at the end. This is probably something I'm going to do before next week. You could coat all your pieces on the inside with silver or foil and just make them reflective. I've got some lovely metallic chrome Rust-Oleum, which I'm going to just spray the inside with, and that will just help that light bounce and reflect and make it really kind of maybe not necessarily bigger on the inside, but it will help that light to really kind of reflect and glow.
Okay. If
you want to put anything else inside your TARDIS, please do. I don't know how to make it physically bigger on the inside. I'm really sorry.
Yeah,
I'm not an actual Time Lord.
we kind of lied about that bit when people were asking. We styled it out. We said we did, and we said that we reel it. We clicked that bait, and we don't. There we go. So
you could absolutely use the TARDIS to make it to make the TARDIS have the sound. Get a speaker, code that. You could code in that. You could have a little AT Tiny to code that, or a kind of Arduino, or you could just have a speaker and you could play it from your phone. I really want to make mine, so mine is going to eventually go to my partner Tom, because he loves Doctor Who and sometimes just dresses as the Doctor to go to work,
doesn't he? Yeah.
Because he's like that. And I kind of want to make it like a nightlight, because he and I both do. We will listen to audiobooks to fall asleep, and so I want to add in a timer so that he can press the light on the TARDIS and then it will go off after like an hour or something.
Okay.
So that's a bit of coding, and I need to work out how to do that.
Yeah.
Right now, we're just going to make a TARDIS that lights up.
Yeah. So next week, yeah. We got a little message from Bassett who says, I am vegan, but I would absolutely use recycled leather. What's the point in it going to waste if it's already been made and used? So yeah, that's a really, thanks for chiming in as vegan and sharing that with us. ID Coven says, cactus leather, I've heard, is not very bad for the environment and is made ethically. So that's something you could look into as well, as cactus leather.
There's a few sort of like vegetable leather alternatives that are nice. Just, I would say the main thing, keep it natural. Like, if you're going to look for alternatives, I did not just glue gun my fingers. Yeah, we're not going to glue this. Well, actually, there's a whole other layer that needs to go on before this goes on top, but that's sort of giving you an idea of how that's coming together.
Okay.
These top bits, why have I only got... it's like, why have I only got two? I made sure I cut everything. So the trick is with this bit is to create this kind of angled top. This is tricky. This is going to be tricky.
Okay.
So I haven't decided on the best way of doing this. I think the best way is going to be to put a little bit of gun glue there and join it all up and then glue it on top.
Yeah.
Because I think otherwise they'll just end up leaning and it won't actually have a solid glue together. Because I could glue them along there and then just kind of lean them in, but I'm going to struggle to get glue underneath in that case.
Okay.
So what I might do here is I might raid my stash of scraps underneath the table. Scrap pieces, always keep scrap. Literally underneath this table is just every offcut ever. And at some point I pilfer it all. Yeah. I'm just going to take another layer of that and I'm going to use that to protect my fingers.
Yes.
This time.
Okay, yeah. I mean, your fingers look pretty protected from all the plasters on it already.
But just use that to kind of create that fold without needing your fingers to be underneath. Does that make sense, everyone?
Yeah. Could you also maybe, like, I don't know why I thought of this, like create a little cardboard holster, template. Like not a template, like literally just get some cardboard, fold it into like a V shape so that you can just slot the black bits onto the top of it and glue that.
I mean, if you've got something like plasticky, like actually we'll get onto this next time. I'm going to be using my laminator to do some bits on this. It's not essential, but it just will make me happy. And I laminate. Often I just laminate, or I laminate with nothing in it. I just create laminated plastic bits. And they're really good for stuff like this because you can peel glue off them.
Oh, yeah.
So I use them a lot for like bases of things. I work with clay a lot on top of laminator sheets. My partner got me that for my birthday and everyone else thought it was ridiculous, and I actually thought it was one of the best presents ever. So if we look at that now, that's doing the trick.
Nice.
So that seems to have worked surprisingly well.
Yeah.
I was not expecting it to work as well as that. I said nice things as well.
I thought I'd bring something to the show and tell.
Kim's brought a thing.
Brought my wedding bouquet.
She's brought the things that caused her burn scarring.
So I displayed it at the wedding like this when I was done holding it in my little Milo tin. Man, I need to dust this. It's filthy. So yeah, this is the wedding bouquet that I made for my wedding. It's a bit faded and a bit dusty now because it's just been sat. Oh god, it's really dusty. So yeah, I made
like blow it.
yeah, I made hibiscus. So red hibiscus to represent the national flower of Malaysia, and white roses to represent England. The last time I mentioned this, someone pointed out that I literally, like, you know, there was literally a whole war in the UK between the Tudors and the other Tudors. Not the Tudors. But
the Yorks and the Lancasters?
Yeah, between the red roses and white roses. And here I am just casually changing it to white roses here. Well, sod it. But yeah, so I had English roses to represent England and red hibiscus to represent Malaysia. And I made it all out of paper. Roof.
And just finding out, this is how bad I am at cutting lines. In looking at this corner where my plastered thumb is here, this is a template, and all of these shapes are perfectly the same size because they were, like, it was one shape that I duplicated to make the model. I've cut them as 4 different sizes, and I'm going to have to cut a bit off the end because then they don't match up as a square. And yeah, that's how bad I am at cutting straight lines from a template. It's going really well.
Professional.
We're a professional outfit.
Honestly,
I'm just gonna square up that shot of that corner.
The minute we become professional, I'm nerfing it.
Then we're done. We're out.
Yeah. See, even at your corners. While you're doing that, I'm gonna do something. I want to show off. So, guys, like, we're really enjoying these streams, and what we're enjoying even more is seeing your creations. So, like, earlier we showed Dishy's amazing Ana rifle. One thing we got sent this week that I really want to show off on Twitter is this amazing dragon made by Charlie, aka RoUrBro, or no, RoUrBro on Twitter. And they sent us this amazing little mushroom dragon that they made using the tutorial that well, that was our first stream, wasn't it? It was the
pre-lockdown stream.
Pre-lockdown stream where we made paper clay dragons. So yeah, now here's the thing is Charlie tweeted this at us, and I read it like Saturday morning, and I thought, because the way they did the tweet was like they made it like a kind of natural. Like they did a little kind of like, what's the words? Like a little biological entry.
Biological kind of like what it was and how it worked.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, it's a real dragon. And then my brain woke up and I went, hold on a minute. I genuinely thought that this was a real little creature that they'd taken a picture of and sent us.
Is that in a way it is an actual dragon. Like, and I tweeted this and people loved it. But because it's an actual dragon, like it's not a fantasy dragon. Yeah. It's a dragon that could really exist, and I think that's wonderful. I sort of love the idea of this
mushroom dragon,
this dragon that coats itself in mushrooms to kind of hide, and I just think it's brilliant. So there we go. I've glued that on with glue gun, and I've just kind of used a scrap piece to kind of clean up the glue around the edges. That's the lid. Or the lid, the top of the TARDIS, the lid of the TARDIS. So. Yeah, that's what we're looking at now.
That's pretty good.
Just what we're going to do now is we're going to glue these corner pieces together. So we're going to take our 2 beveled edges and just attach them together to create a nice clean corner that will then go around the TARDIS. Okay?
How the hell
Carry on chatting, everyone.
How the hell did you cut a beveled edge? Have you got any tips for that?
I used a Dremel and sliced open my finger.
Okay, that was the thing we did at the beginning. But, like, for anyone who doesn't have a Dremel...
you can sand, like foam can be sanded with sandpaper. I buy this stuff. This is actually Sander Belt sandpaper.
Oh,
and
yeah,
it's
that's
just
good.
really rough, and it's really good for kind of getting away with lots of material, and you can get it in different grits. So that would be for getting rid of lots of materials, and that would just be for smoothing out. But also you can do it with a knife. There's lots of like Punish Props does a lot of beveled edges, cutting beveled edges. I'm just really bad at it.
Fair.
I mean, you could also build this out of thinner foam and just create a corner. But you're just trying to create a crisp. Try and demonstrate what we're attempting to do here. So you're just trying to create a nice crisp corner that's bigger than the TARDIS shape. That's what we're doing with that. So however you want to do that, yeah.
If I just bring up the image of the TARDIS there, you can see, yeah, the TARDIS has bigger edges on the side, on the corners.
Edges. Yeah, so we're just doing that. If you have thicker foam, just cut squares out of thicker foam. Like, you don't need to make it this complicated if you can get hold of thicker foam.
Can I give my little fact about sandpaper and grits? Because it's something I know, Becky. It's something I know, and I can contribute. Like
Go!
So grits. Grit is the number on the sandpaper, and the lower the number, so 60 or 80, the rougher it is, the coarser it is. And that's kind of the kind of sandpaper that you would use if you were doing woodworking. You'd use at the beginning of the project when you're kind of like really like harshly trying to sand something down. And then the higher the number, so 120, 150, 180, I think it is, and then the 200s, that basically means it's finer, like it's a lot, the sand on it is a lot finer and it's a lot closer together. And that's the kind of stuff that you would use to finish things off. So in woodworking, you'd use it to give a finishing kind of a very fine, gentle sand to smooth things down. Yeah, to smooth it down. So little tip for you there.
Yeah, like this is 60 grit.
Yeah.
So this is really hard and just takes away material really quickly, and then you need a lot thinner grit. Like, this leaves a really rough surface.
Yeah.
But it is great for just removing material.
Yeah.
So I'm just gluing these corners together. Creating nice little corners. Should probably keep, pressure on these until they're fully dry. But as we're racing through stream, we're
We've got half an hour.
We're racing through stream. Gonna try and get everything glued today. I don't know how I ever thought we were gonna get this done in one.
Yeah. So we will be doing a second stream on this because obviously we're going to do the decorating and electronics. I think we'll do next week. But yeah. So this is like the construction. So this is here's your materials all cut out, glue them together. And doing that.
Craft-wise,
returning to the crafts. Right, if you could shove your the thing a bit closer, turn it upside down.
Yeah.
Is that upside down? Is that the right way up? What the hell am I looking at? Yeah,
I've got it. I've got it.
Okay. Right, tell us what you're doing.
So,
a little bit update.
I've made these lovely corners, which are a bit rough because speed, time. I've made these lovely corners, and I'm just now gluing them essentially over the corners. So not like, you can push them in as far as you go and they'll still kind of stick out because they're bigger than the corners. So I'm just glue gunning those on to create, it's really starting to look like a TARDIS now.
Yeah. Any hints or tips or pro things?
Don't glue gun your fingers.
Okay.
Dishy can probably weigh in on this as well. You can fill in gaps afterwards with caulk, which is a decorator's stuff that you use for filling in between tiles in bathrooms. Or something like plaster, or I sometimes use paper clay as a pulp, which I really enjoy. The corner piece is not going to affect the door opening, Viz-T. Because the door is opening inwards. This is why we designed the door to open inwards.
So when you say going back to the caulk, like to fill gaps, do you mean like, so just looking at the camera now, that top corner there has a little bit of a gap in it?
It's more like here, like on the outside, because all of this top bit is sort of going to be mostly covered. But these kind of edges just look a bit messy. And you could definitely kind of caulk in those or a bit of plaster in those and then just sand it round.
How would you do that? Because that looks quite small to like put caulk in.
You can
hold on. Hold on. I've understand. I thought you
Wrong
said
cork.
cork, C-O-R-K. What you mean is caulk, C-A-U-L-K. Yeah, caulk.
Caulk.
Yeah,
That sounds really weird. Caulk.
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 Yeah.
Wood glue. Oh, exciting. That's an excellent suggestion, Dishy. But yeah, plaster, plaster of Paris, not plaster. Yeah, clay. If you mix clay, air dry clay with a little bit of water, you can create a
like a paste.
kind of pulp.
Yeah, a paste.
And that works really well. And like you can sand it if you use a very gentle
Grit.
thing.
A high grit.
High grit. If you use a very high grit sandpaper, you can take that off without affecting the foam.
Yeah. So basically something pasty that you can kind of smooth into the holes and then sandpaper it down afterwards.
Yeah, Dishy, you're saying caulk and wood glue remain a bit more flexible. I've got flexible clay. Don't mess with me.
There you go. Okay, cool. That's cool. But yeah, so carry on gluing your corners. Got about 15 minutes left.
Yeah, we're going to try and get the whole structure together in 15 minutes.
Okay. Right, you ignore chat. I'll read out anything relevant for chat, because you're getting very distracted by chat.
Okay, I'm sorry. I've had to slow down today to stop stressing, and I think reading chat has probably helped with that. So thanks, chat.
Dishy says foam clay. Foam clay does shrink a bit, though.
Foam clay, stuff like Delight, who do paper clay, have a stuff called hang on, do I mean that? Creative, who do paper clay, have a thing called Delight, and that dries really nice and flexible. Cosplay, I believe, is the new one that everyone's getting excited about.
Hey, Becky, if you have nothing more to teach in the next couple of seconds while you glue like the corners on, shall we ask them about Patreon?
Yes.
So Becky wants to set up a Patreon. She's looking into setting up a Patreon, but we need some input from you guys. Like, what kind of things would you want to see on Becky's Patreon? What kind of things would you contribute money towards? That kind of thing. Yeah.
What level pricing structure? Because I know some Patreons can go really high. Like, I don't want to go really high,
No,
but
I wouldn't suggest it.
What level are people happy for kind of content to stick at? I know it's, I want people to come and I want people to get content. I don't want, to not give people nice things. So yeah. I want it to be affordable.
Yeah, and what kind of things would you want to see on a Patreon? Yeah. Rainbow Queen Lexi says, I'd be super interested in anything from pictures of cool projects to mini tutorials for craft projects to bigger projects like this. I think that's a good bit of feedback.
Well, I was thinking that mostly I'll be offering digital content and guides and, in terms of things that people can download and make. It will be things like guides rather than stuff that I actually need to send out, because I think that really gets on top of creators is when they have to just keep sending stuff out to their patrons.
Yeah. Rainbow Queen Lexi says guides are great. So I think quite similar to the TARDIS template, if you want to check that out now in chat. But maybe a bit more detailed than that with like the written instructions and things like that too.
Pictures and everything.
Well, it could be like, so when I made my my bouquet, I actually bought the templates from a woman who does a lot of papercraft flowers and papercraft projects. So I'd definitely pay, like, if you had a template for something.
Couple of dollars for that.
Yeah. A couple of dollars. I think I'd happily throw that at you.
So these little bits, which are going to hold the police box sign, they need to slot in there and glue to the top.
If you could move it a little bit more. Yeah, there you go.
So they need to slot in the top there and glue to both sides and glue to the top of the doors. And they should line up perfectly, sort of, with the top of these pillars, so that you'll end up with a nice flat surface all around the top.
Okay.
That makes sense to everyone?
Yeah.
So I'm just going to do like a little bit of contact glue around the edges and on the top there.
Nice. Oh my god, my foot's gone dead.
So last time we did the stream, the Dragon Egg stream, and for people who were there, the doorbell rang midway through the stream, and I sort of ran out to answer it, and my leg had gone completely to sleep, and I only realised this as I was halfway down the stairs, and so I actually did a spectacular skid down my stairs. Don't run downstairs when your leg is dead, everyone.
Yeah, I didn't want to say, but I was editing the video for that last week, and I definitely heard a thump.
Yeah, there is a moment.
Oh, I felt really sorry for you. I was like, oh damn, that was a really loud thump.
It was a serious, yeah. The carpet burn on my elbow has only just gone away.
Oh, bless you.
But yeah, I came and I streamed, and it was all good.
Yeah.
We're in contact glue again now.
Oh.
We've moved to the
Shouldn't you be wearing
stuff.
your gloves then, young lady?
Shush. Yeah, sure. What? Just don't get it on your hands, is the rule.
You shouldn't feel stressed. This is just a chill stream. We're just a couple of friends getting together and making some crafts and drinking some tea and not drinking glue that looks like tea.
Look, like if you're making your tea and it looks like that, you're making tea wrong.
I don't put a lot of milk in my tea. I just put like a teeny sploosh.
So I do put a lot of milk in my tea, but I also make my tea strong, and I think people misunderstand. When I say I like milky tea, people think you want weak tea, and these are two separate things.
Yeah.
Like I want strong tea with a lot of milk in it. I want to taste my tea and have milk.
Oh, I like this. Crypt in chat says, Armchair Admirals won't have a game working until 3 o'clock anyway. Yeah, Bernard Takedown. Just stream for 50 more minutes when Armchair Admirals actually starts the game. Nice burns, guys. Nice burns.
Everyone's friends here. We're not mean.
Well, their stream is like 6 hours or something, isn't it? Because it's
wow.
They're playing Civ 6, Civilization. So like
actually letting them have like 10 minutes more off would be quite nice.
3 hours is like nothing in that game. Yeah, so they stream 2 o'clock to 8 o'clock.
Oh.
Bloody hell. Bloody hell.
I mean, we love you guys, but I want to eat soon.
I could not concentrate on a game that long. Like, yeah. You're right there. You're like properly manhandling that bad boy. Oh, your microphone's cut off again as well. It's fine.
Yelling at phone, saying fit.
Yeah, it looks a bit squishy there. He's a squishy boy.
Right now, don't worry. Yeah. You will, I promise.
Okay. God. So you got one more side and then the top to put on.
You know what? I'm tempted to say I'll just put the top on and I'll slot that in later because I think I'm going to need to resize that a bit.
Yeah. Okay, let's do that.
Or we'll just position the top for now because if I glue it down, then these are going to be fun to.
If you shove it a bit more into the middle, yes.
So yeah, once all these pieces are in, which I haven't done yet because I'm going to need to cut them down a bit because my cutting's all off. Then this will just glue on top, covering all the holes.
If you push it up a little bit more, because I can't see the. Yeah, that's it. There you go. Can't see.
So,
it looks like a face.
TARDIS face. So yeah, this will just glue on top, covering all those holes, and then that's starting.
Yeah. Well, it's not even starting. It's continuing to look like a TARDIS.
Continuing. It is. I'm going to bring this up to the main cam because the angle on that is really hard to maintain. So this.
There you go.
My TARDIS.
A little bit higher up. There you go. Look at that.
So we're starting. That's a pretty good start of a phone test.
I think we're there. So next week, what we're going to do, we're going to do the decoration. We're going to do all the little, like the police box bit and the little panes of glass.
Details. We'll make it all pretty and yeah. Things that I will do in the meantime. Finish gluing everything. Mm-hmm. And I will spray paint the inside silver. Mm-hmm. And I will seal this all with a layer of Mod Podge or PVA. If anyone wants to have a crack at making a TARDIS, the pattern will be sitting on my stream, on my Ko-fi. So the pattern's still there. I'm on Twitter if anyone has any questions.
Becky's Twitter is @BeckyPepperdine. I'll link you in a tweet in a second and we'll do it that way. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this morning's stream. Thank you for sticking with us through the tech issues right at the beginning. Thanks, Twitch. But yeah, buy my t-shirt. Enjoy Armchair Admirals, everybody. Right, say goodbye, Becky.